I grew up in America. My youngest memories are of living in Virginia, and which near the water, like that, water kind of country. I liked pictures, I liked books, liked art, liked to color, liked to play. I also liked to just kind of sit and not really do much sometimes. But I really liked, I did have a strong attachment to books. I used to like to collect books when I was young. My mom, she used to be quite a good artist, good drawer, and she used to draw these nice pictures of like Mighty Mouse and Mickey Mouse and other heroes, you know. And I used to take the pictures to school and sell them. So I used to somehow or other I was always like earning money even at a young age. And I remember one of my report cards. It said, that he's very good at school, but he has to stop selling things. I don't know. Some comic background. Quite a strange childhood in some ways. My father was an alcoholic, and he and my mother used to argue and fight a lot. I remember when I was, I don't know how, maybe 5, 6, 7, around that. They used to fight, and I was outside playing on a sand pit, with my toys, and I heard them arguing, really screaming and breaking things, and I was just like, and I just ran inside, and stood between them and, started screaming, stop, 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 like that. So this is one of my kind of oldest memories of, family life kind of thing. So it wasn't so nice. And later I found out that actually this wasn't my real father, that it was my adopted father. And that actually my mother had left my real father when I was about 6 weeks. And then this is where it gets complicated, my adopted father, he had adopted me. They changed my name and kind of made me legally his. And that was when I was about 6 months old, I think, something like that, somewhere between 6 months and a year old. And then after some time, my mother left my father and remarried, so then I also had a stepfather. So I grew up going to church. In a lot of ways I liked it, but this was, I guess, when I was really young, probably from the age of 5 to 10, like that. But I found it boring going for the sermons and stuff like that. And I also found it quite hypocritical, because I would go and I would see people who were all dressed nicely at church and praise the Lord and praying to God and singing hymns, and then I would see them on the Monday or Tuesday just doing all nonsense, drinking, smoking, cussing and shouting, and and it's kind of like, well, how come you're not more like the way you act on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday? I didn't feel like I fitted in really. I didn't, I didn't feel like, I felt like a lot of other people were, they seemed happy to play football and get good grades, or to just, do whatever was asked of them to try and earn money, and I was just kind of like, I wasn't so into that. I was really into spiritual things, I was really looking for some spiritual truth. And me and my friend Matt, we were just kind of like partners in this, and there was a whole group of us who were kind of into this sort of thing. Mainly it appeared probably from outside what we were into was, smoking pot, but, what he and I were really into was trying to find out what the truth was. His family were very, very spiritual, but let's say not religious. They were very spiritual, very much into New Age stuff, crystals, healing, tarot cards, horoscopes, and reincarnation, karma, yoga, meditation. And when I found this, and when I met him, he was already naturally in that mood. And we used to talk, and I used to think, that's it. These are the things that I've always thought, but I've never found anyone who could tell me about them, In high school, my thesis report for the end of the year, the title of it was Proving the Eternality of the Soul, something like that. So that was my dissertation. I was actually trying to prove that there is a soul, the soul exists, it's eternal, this is the nature of the soul, and this is fact. It's not just something, it's not based on belief or faith, it's actually a fact. Anyway, I was also still taking a lot of drugs at that time. I was married, and we had a house, we had a car, and she had been kind of supporting me. We had been married for probably about 4 or 5 years at that point, 4 years. I mean, initially we got married so that I could kind of stay here. But, after a year we could have divorced, and I could have still stayed. But there was some relationship there. We were married for 6 years and together for 7 years. We decided that I should get a proper job, and now I should try to get into some sort of job that I could actually earn some money. And then, maybe we could start, her and I could do things together, So the next thing you know, I'm like working in the city, wearing a suit and tie every day, and testing software leading up to the year 2000 for investment bank. And then I just became completely blinded by earning money. I was like, oh, okay, so this is like a different thing. Because before that, I'd always earned money, but never really like that was like good money. Before that, the biggest paying job was about $15,000 a year. Now all of a sudden I was on like close to 60,000 pounds a year, and so I was like, okay. So then I just started to party with, pot. Kind of became like, pot, then you start drinking champagne and snorting cocaine and, different kind of partying lifestyle. And after a few years of that, I just began to think, God, this life is making me kind of sick, you know. But I thought, but I got everything, you know. I've got like, you know, beautiful wife, house, car, travel, money, you know. I can do so many things, you know. But I was just like, but I'm just working so hard to try and earn more and more all the time, and I'm in debt, you know. There was no real deep level of satisfaction. It was just a constant desire to find more, you know. And then appears my friend again, Matt, and he had kind of taken to Krishna consciousness, him and his wife, and I was like, wow, this is interesting, okay. And he was saying, this is it, this is what we've been looking for, like our whole lives, this is what we've been looking for. And I was like, okay. When he first introduced it to me, I was kind of like, okay, I was into it. And I asked my wife, I was like, my now ex-wife, I said, you know, why don't we go down to the Hare Krishna temple and just see what's going on? I was like, you know, I was already vegetarian. I was into yoga and meditation. She knew that. She wasn't into yoga and meditation, but, you know, she wasn't necessarily such a spiritual person, at least openly. And, but she wasn't into it at all. She said, I'm not going. She said, you can go. I'm not going. You know, and for me, that was kind of like, things were already strained, you know, and it was like, and I was looking for something, and, you know, I wasn't really happy, you know, I was just kind of sticking it out, you know, because God, you know, we've been married for over 5 years now, you know, may as well just try to go the distance sort of thing, you know. And I started to think that actually, I'm not into this at all. That's part of the reason why things are turning out like this, because I'm not into it. This isn't really what I want to do with my life. And I just started to think that actually, this is an opportunity for me to try to do what I do want to do with my life, you know.
It's only Christ that can, it's only Christ that can give you alive. And Christ is like a pivotal point, whether you take it or you leave it. You see, a time shall come in life that each and every one of us is going to stand before God and give his life and give his, account of his life, how he has lived here on earth before Christ. And it's quite unfortunate that people like this are who've missed the cut. But it is good to tell you that it's appointed unto man once to die. And after that, the judgment of God will follow. You understand? So I hope you have a good day and consider that. Thank you.